Let's see, now we'll get to our speakers, and I'm delighted to introduce Erin and Kirk Malzer with Fat Boy Natural BBQ. They have been past speakers at Perk, and we have an association with them that goes back many years, and I believe they had a business in the Focus Suites at one point, a different business, but they're accomplished entrepreneurs now and have a very strong business, and I'm going to let them tell you about it. So Erin and Kirk, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure. Hi, I'm Erin, this is Kirk, and we own Fat Boy BBQ. Fat Boy was started in 2002 in Grafton, Nebraska by a gentleman named John Burt. He owned it up until 2013, and he wanted to get out of it. He wanted to go do other things. So we purchased it and moved it into Lincoln. We are now based in Hickman, Nebraska, built our own facility, have a warehouse here that we send all of our product out of. We are in 40 states about now. And people are always surprised to hear that really only about 9% of our business is Nebraska. The majority of our business is actually out of state, pretty much Nebraska and east. And we are working at expanding west this year, which is always a challenge.
We're starting completely on the coast and heading east again. I think so. We had so much luck going east. We just want to keep going east, but we want to start in California. Okay.
And one thing that we found really interesting in doing that is the person that we have helping us is based in California, and we're finding that West Coast people view things different than East Coast people, especially when it comes to branding, marketing, that kind of thing. So we are actually doing a complete redesign this year, which he pushed us to do, which it's been 20 years.
Yeah,
so,
labels have been basically the same for about 20 years.
It's time, and we're going with a much cleaner look, because that's just what people want now, and especially on the West Coast. They want, looking at a label right away, it says clean ingredients, it says gluten-free, keto-friendly, things of that sort. So we are doing a complete redesign. It's going to look completely different, but we're pretty excited about it.
Somewhat.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, that's the part we're not that excited about.
When you need to order labels, it used to just be, oh, here, send it off, order it. And now it's like, oh, now I got to design it and redo it and manage it. So I think that's probably one of the main things that we've learned recently is just the difference in our own country and how people view barbecue, something as simple as barbecue. So,
it's interesting this past year going through the pandemic, watching so many companies try and figure out how the heck to pivot, try and figure out how to keep their doors open even. We were very fortunate in selling a food product and having an extremely strong online presence to go with our retail presence, that basically we were up about
we were fairly even.
We were fairly even. We didn't lose anything. So I think we inched up just a little bit, but we were very fortunate to come through that. But the reason that happened is we were able to pivot more to the online sales, while the grocery store sales in our grocery store chain started to lag a little bit. So we had that channel that we could lean on a little bit heavier, did a lot more advertising, spent a lot more on that channel, but it paid off dividends for us pretty well.
So while we were stagnant, the percentages of what was giving us our revenue changed. So the online went up while the wholesale went down. I was incredibly happy that we had everything in place when the pandemic hit, as far as Amazon, eBay. I did add Etsy, I added wish.com. We also discovered some wholesale websites. So that's kind of the new thing for people who sell products, is you can get on these wholesale websites and then people can go on and order your product through the website. We already have an online way to order on our website for wholesale, but a lot of people don't have that. And we thought, well, we'll try it. I think one of them takes 25%, one of them takes 15%, one of them doesn't take anything. But
We like that.
we adjusted the price so that we could make up some of that margin and thought, well, we'll see if it hits. And within the first month, I think we had like 8 sales or something. So these are smaller businesses that maybe otherwise wouldn't know about our product. We're in Kroger, we're in Hy-Vee, we're in Fairway, we're in the big guys. And for us to go find the mom and pop shops, is difficult for us. We don't have a salesperson that's going out walking the streets trying to get these customers. So to have this online resource where people know that they can go and they can find lots of vendors, being on there actually really helped us. And we did pick up some shops in areas that otherwise I don't think ever would have purchased our product.
Mhm.
So what else?
Kind of as we've gone through this process, and it has been a process, there are kind of like when you go through school, you have the 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic. Kind of what we learned is we have the 3 R's here, but it's risk, reward, and relationship. Those are the 3 things that really power our company. Some people say, oh, are you a gambler? I'm like, well, heck yeah, I am. I love to gamble. So, well, do you play blackjack? Nope. Poker? Nope. I don't. Slot machine? No, I gamble on business, and that's what we do. And one of the great things about entrepreneurship is the ability of those people to take that risk, to throw it out there and see what the heck happens. The gambling conversation, I was talking to somebody the other day about the gambling conversation. I said, I gambled 15 grand on Monday. I bought product and hopefully our grocery store chains purchase it from us. It's, so the thing that we have to do always is balance that risk versus reward. And we've been very fortunate that we've been able to grow the company and keep adding locations and keep adding retail chains. And it just kind of keeps going. So our gambles really aren't that big anymore. We know we have to kind of feed the beast, so we know we have to buy that stuff. The other thing is relationships, and it's good and it's bad right now. A lot of times the relationships that we've kind of cultivated over the years, it's fun, to go, you see that person, you can shake that hand of someone you just met, or you can give a big bear hug to somebody that you've known for years. But now you can meet with a heck of a lot more people, and you can do it at a much lower cost. Mm-hmm. So it's balancing that kind of thing out. As an example of that, we rolled out a couple of years ago into about 1,100 Kroger stores through the eastern half of the United States. That was a 4-year process. It wasn't overnight. I wish it was, but it was, meetings after meetings after meetings at Kroger corporate headquarters. It was developing a relationship with the 2 ladies that purchased our type of product for the entire country, and you have to cultivate those things. And it's really interesting in the times that we are now to, like we were talking about before, to pivot and be able to say, okay, well, now there's 9 of us on a screen. How's everybody doing? And try and make sure the kids are in school. They're not running through the office. The dog's not barking, and we can go ahead and speak about things. So it's been interesting. It's been a learning curve for us as a small to medium-ish size business, just like everybody else. So.
Well, and it's interesting because the person who's helping us expand in the western part of the country, we met on a Zoom call. Mm-hmm. It was through the state of Nebraska. They have an export program, and it was $200. And I thought, well, for $200, what do I have to lose? It was for specifically for Canada. And we met him and one of his business partners on Zoom, and actually started the process of going into Canada. And then we kind of realized how much it costs to do export and get into Canada, and took a step back because he wanted to do this rebranding. And we said, okay, let's hold the horses. Let's work on the Western United States because you have that as an option as well. Try that out for a year and then look at expanding in 2022. But I guess my point is we threw $200 at something that we didn't know if it would work or not, and ended up getting a good relationship. It's still a risk. You know, we have some money invested in this, and thus far don't have any stores that we've gotten into. We have hope that that will happen. But you know, the other I guess thing to tell people is you need to negotiate. You know, they came back wanting a 2-year contract, and we ended up at a 5-month contract. You know, you got to hold your, you know, what you believe, because it's, you know, we basically said, why would we give you a 2-year contract? You haven't proven anything to us. So if you want to sell our product so bad, you'll do a shortened contract to prove to us that, you know, you can actually do this. So you have to take risk, but you have to take calculated risk. And it took us a while to decide what we were going to do with that situation, and reach out to your resources. You know, I reached out to Dennis with the export, with the state of Nebraska, the helpline. And I said, what should I do? I don't know. You know, what do people typically do in this situation? Utilize those resources. And that's how you can make a calculated risk, is by finding out, you know, from other people who've done it before, what should you do?
And that's that relationship portion again. It's not just customer relationships. It's anybody that can help you, that you put into your group. You know, there's people that have absolutely nothing to do with our company whatsoever that I bounce ideas off every week. They're smart, they're business people. They, you know, they're wonderful in their own field, but they have no clue what we do. But the concepts are the same. It's, you know, I always say that if I'm with a group of people and I'm talking to them or with them about certain things, and I just kind of sit and I look around, and I always say, if I'm the smartest person in that room, I'm in the wrong room. I need to move, because I need people smarter than me to help me. So it's always good to have those people in your group and leverage those relationships. And yet we've thought about a lot of stuff completely differently. It's, you know, the labeling thing Erin was talking about. We have, our products are identified by characters on the label. People identify them. So we actually have grocery store chains calling up, I need the pig sauce. I need the chicken rub. So they have names, and that's not them, but that's how they're identified. Well, in changing branding, talking to our consultant out in California, it's just, well, that's what's in the brand name in the middle of your label. Are you selling chickens and pigs? Or are you selling barbecue? And it kind of hit. It's like, well, that's predominantly what takes up the label, and it doesn't say what the heck we do. So it's just using those resources to kind of freshen yourself up. I mean, if you can walk in and look at a box sitting in the corner every day, after a while, it just goes there. You need somebody to kind of shake that up a little bit. So that's one of the good things about the relationships we've established, is we've got a few people that'll kind of smack you around just a little bit and wake you up. So, and
I've had a few people, my mom included, who say, I like the old ones better. And I say, well, go to the grocery store and look at everything on the shelf, and then tell me that we're not outdated. You know, I think you get in a comfort zone, and sometimes you need to be kicked out of that comfort zone. So yeah, Amazon was definitely a comfort zone that we got into in 2000, did I do that, 15?
Yeah.
So Amazon was purchasing from us, and we did the math, and we were losing money. So not only did they, it wasn't necessarily on the wholesale side, but it's on everything they take is fees. And then the other thing they were doing was undercutting me on my own Amazon store. So my online sales dropped 33%, because why would you buy it on my website for $15.95 plus shipping when you can go on Amazon and get it for $13.99 with free shipping? So I basically took $1,000 PO. I told them to, you know what, and open my own store, and
never looked back.
And I think last year we did almost $200,000 on Amazon. Now, keep in mind, Amazon takes, used to be about 33%, they're up to almost 40%. So just keep that in mind when you buy on Amazon. It's better for the business owner and it's better for you, sometimes cheaper, to actually purchase it on their website.
Mhm.
So
But it's not as convenient.
the person who does our online shipping finally has her boyfriend doing more research when he wants something. She said, no, go to their website, look at it. I'm telling you, it's probably cheaper. And he's like, it's cheaper. And she's like, I'm telling you, this is what I do for a living. And shipping is extraordinarily expensive. I don't know anyone here who is doing any online sales. People do not understand how expensive shipping is. Amazon has kind of ruined that for people because it's free shipping. Well, no, it's not free. It's built into the price of the product, and or it's getting charged back to the person who's selling the product. Amazon is not paying those shipping costs. If they are on their Prime stuff, they have negotiated those rates to the point where those companies aren't even making money. I had a FedEx guy tell me that their CEO was going to tell Amazon to go their separate way because they lost 7 cents on every single order that they shipped for Amazon. So you can make $1 billion, but if your expenses are $1.1 billion, what's the point in doing it? That advertising isn't probably going to make up for that. So negotiate your prices. I negotiate heavy.
In anything.
Yeah, I negotiate heavy with my UPS provider. I've tried negotiating with FedEx. I haven't had a lot of success with them. Stamps.com has been amazing. I think we pay $24 a month to have it, but their UPS rates, they just added UPS this year, and some of their UPS rates are actually beating my UPS rates, which I have really good negotiated rates. And it's way cheaper than going to the post office. Way cheaper. If you're shipping like 5 to 10 items a month, even stamps.com is worth the money. I have a little upgraded account because I've got three logins, but the regular stamps is just $15 a month. You would save that on 5 to 10 packages, easy, than going to the post office. Plus, you don't have to drive there. So that would be a tip I would have for online for sure.
Mhm.
We also do online fundraising, and that's been a really big success.
Yeah.
So we basically give our product at wholesale price to people who want to fundraise. We will only do groups. So like if you have medical bills, I feel sorry for you, but I'm not going to do a fundraiser. You have to be some sort of organization, not necessarily a nonprofit. We do, a lot of baseball teams, and we just did the Norris wrestling. They made $2,000. And basically all you do is we give them a link for each kid. That kid sends that link out to their friends and family. They purchase and they get 50% of whatever that person ordered minus the shipping, because I can't eat that shipping. So
and that's kind of another way that we've pivoted this year, because a lot of the kids that are trying to do fundraisings for whatever project. I mean, we all get hit up by the, my daughter's selling cookies, or my son's selling popcorn, or, my daughter needs to go to the softball thing in a different state. Everybody gets hit with that. Well, now with so many people working from home, or the kids not being comfortable, the parents not being comfortable with the kids going door to door, the way we've adapted that is, like Erin was saying, they can do here's your form and you can go and fill it out. But since we've adapted it for the online process, grandma in another state and aunt and uncle and everybody else, all they have to do is click that little link that they put on Facebook. It gets shipped to them. It gets attributed to the child that's doing it. It's just another one of those kind of pivot things. It helps us, obviously, and it also helps our people that want to do our fundraisers to still be able to do those, in the kind of the times that we're living now. So it's been really fun to kind of watch that grow, because the first few times we did it a few years ago, people were like, online? I'm not going to fundraise. What are you talking about? You guys are nuts. Well, then now all of a sudden, Erin's a genius. And all she has to do is thank the pandemic, I guess.
I guess that's definitely helped it, but we still have people that come in and they're like, oh, I don't know, I don't want my grandma to pay shipping. And it's like, okay, well, the shipping is like, for what she's gonna buy, probably $6.50 or $9.50. And they're like, I don't think they're gonna want to pay it. And they actually do. People are so used to buying online, especially with the pandemic. People do not even blink at a $10 shipping cost. Every once in a while, I'd say probably once every 3 months, we get an email. I can't believe you're charging shipping. And it's like, well, go to the post office and see what it costs to ship something, because you can't get one bottle of our sauce, you can't get anywhere with a national carrier for less than $8. And that's the other thing. Like when you're buying online, I will tell you, buy in bulk, because you're going to pay the shipping either way. To buy one thing, if you're thinking about buying several, just buy several, because you're going to save money on your shipping. Because once you hit a certain amount, that number kind of stagnates. But when you're buying one little thing, $8 postal service, unless it's under £1, then you can do first class, and you're not going to get it in 2 days. So
yeah, I'd say the main thing that we've learned over the years is just being able to adapt. Being flexible enough, not maybe taking yourself serious enough, not maybe saying that you're all that smart, because a lot of us aren't. It's just our ability to adapt and overcome and figure out, what that next step is. It's a fun ride, but it's also, obviously, as all of you know, very trying. I always tell folks, because we're in the barbecue business. Okay, it's fun. It's barbecue. Yay! There's no barbecue emergencies, not brain surgery. Woo! And there's a lot of people that I know that, do it as a hobby, or they're, they want to kind of start their own little company to do, some rubs and some sauces and some whatnot. And, they all say, oh my God, it must be so awesome. It must just be great. And I tell them, some days, yeah, is it great to be the producer and purveyor of liquid and powdered awesome? Yes, it is. Some days it totally sucks.
Last Friday was not a good day.
Last Friday sucked. It's just like everybody else. You're gonna have those peaks and valleys. It's gonna be, some days you're gonna be riding high and you're gonna be on top of the world. That's great. And then, somebody comes in and hits you in the back of the leg and you fall down. It's just getting back up when that happens.
And sometimes you have to have hard conversations. We recently just brought some of our wholesale back in house. We had someone that was distributing it for us here in Nebraska, and we decided that we wanted to bring that back in house. We've been thinking about it for 3 years. And we finally did have that conversation with that person, and it was a difficult conversation. But it had to be done. You can't avoid those things, in looking at the numbers and looking what was best for us in our business. That was the decision that we came to.
Well, and it was definitely, it's on a personal level, because you deal with those people every day. But we had to make sure that we communicated that it was a business decision. We have support staff here to be able to do it. We have a person now that's dedicated to doing that, who's doing a phenomenal job with it. But we had to communicate that it's kind of like the dating relationship. It's not you, it's me, and that's kind of where we had to go with it. Was it unpleasant? Sure. But too many people now take those unpleasant situations and they just kind of see if they work themselves out. That's a mistake that a lot of folks made. And that's, in the past, we've probably done that once or twice ourselves. Maybe it'll just resolve itself like the Office Space guy, oh, well, we just quit writing him checks. We fixed the glitch. So it'll take care of itself.
He always yells at me because he's like, why are you replying to this person? And I'm like, because they're not expecting to get a response.
Why are you replying to this person during dinner at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night?
To be fair, one of them that I was messaging with on Facebook ended up, we are now in New Zealand because of it.
Yes. We sent a pallet of product to New Zealand. Yes.
So I was right. One of the things that helped us too with the pandemic, funny enough, so we have quite a bit on our social media, and we actually have several social media sites. So we have a regular Fat Boy Barbecue. We have a secondary line called Hickman's, which isn't much around here, but we have a Facebook page for that. We have one for our Bloody Mary mix. We have one for our bacon salt, and we have one for our game seasonings line. So we have a lot of social media that we're doing. We try to post at least 3 days a week on those platforms. And on the Fat Boy one, Rachel, who does that for us, put a dad joke one day. And we do dad jokes every day now. And people comment and they're like, oh my God, this is the worst one yet. I look forward to your posts every single day. There was a comment yesterday. Now I have to try your barbecue. So I just placed an order with a screenshot. She had Snapchatted out like her order or whatever. And so it was just really random, but we just kind of found what hit with that demographic, and what will work on one of our pages doesn't work on the other. It's crazy.
But it's at the point where it's weekly. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of interactions. It's just nuts.
One of them is up to over 100,000 shares. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's like the dumber the joke, the better it is. And we now put dad jokes in every single one of our online orders. Like we just print them out on a piece of paper, cut them with a paper cutter and throw them in there. It's like, well, people like them. So that's been something. And a lot of people, I think with the pandemic, were so depressed, just not being able to get out, that these stupid little jokes just made them laugh enough and smile for once during the day. And now they're like, oh my gosh, now I'm addicted. And some national pages too had screenshots from our page of a dad joke they found on our page. So,
yeah, I was at, I'm on the board for the Chamber of Commerce here in Hickman, and I'm at, we're having a board meeting, and one of the other board members, he goes, okay, I follow this national dad joke thing because it's funny. He goes, dude, I just saw like your site on this page. Like it's got like 10 million people. I'm like, well, tell them all my barbecue's off. But yeah, it's our little viral kind of thing. Rachel, who does it, she has a little sign she puts up, currently trending or not. So
and another way we use social media is through groups. So about 3 years ago, I told Kirk, you should go like find some barbecue groups on Facebook and get some intel on what's going on. And I kind of regret doing that, because that's pretty much all the social media is now. We've made a lot of friends on it though. And it's nice to have these groups where he, like, one of them has like a couple hundred people that are really close, and we can throw like label designs up there and say, okay, which one do you like? We can throw ideas out there on new products we're considering doing, things like that, and get some honest feedback from people who are really into barbecue or are doing competitive barbecue. And trend, you got to look at the trends in barbecue. It's the trends are just crazy. He told me 3 years ago you need to do bacon salt. Now we have bacon salt, and it's doing quite well.
Marinade stuff,
injectable marinades, and even like around here, people come in and we're like, oh, you should try this injectable marinade. They're like, oh, no, I'm not ready for that. And it's like, well, you go to the coasts, what's everyone doing? They're doing these injectables. Texas too is a state that we follow a lot, because they're really up on the trends. And sometimes I feel like we have too many products, but then it's like, well, I can't get rid of this because it has a place here.
Well,
there's a
we
reason
kind of have a motto: if we want to sell a lot of something, we're going to dump it,
right?
Because every time we dump a product, we get like 700 phone calls. Oh my God, what happened? Why did you do this? It's like, we sold like 8 cases last year. Where were you people then?
And we'll have random, like our shipping person will come in on Monday and she's like, what's with the Cowgirl Sweet and Hot today? Like we sold like, over a case over the weekend. And people will post stuff, I think, on boards, on other Facebook groups, on their page. Somebody had to have posted our bacon salt on Amazon, because it was like all of a sudden, they weren't even buying from Amazon Prime. They were buying from our Amazon store, which is fine. We make more money doing that. But it was like bacon salt, and it's like, but trying to trace back where that's coming from is almost impossible. But my guess is somebody posted it on a blog or a Facebook group somewhere, and it goes viral. And the viral thing is just crazy. When it happens to you, everyone's like, how do I make something go viral? It's like, you can't make it go viral. But when it does, it's insane.
It's just some of the stuff maybe we would have done differently, I think, is we probably should have got involved in that sooner. It's, we get bogged down in the nuts and bolts, all of us do every day, of, I have to do this, and then this is next. Okay, now I have to read my email. Now I have to respond to this. You just kind of get bogged down in that stuff. And we make it a point now to take, a couple of days a week and think of those ideas. Try and figure out, what's next. Try and figure out what's new. Try and work on the business, not in it. That's one of the key things that we learned. The first few years, it was me and one other person doing some office stuff, and that was about it. So instead of working on our business those years, I kind of wasted them working in it. Did I learn a lot about what we do? Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah.
But I also wasted a lot of time looking at that risk and reward and relationship stuff that we talked about earlier, because I'm packing boxes.
Learn to outsource.
Yeah.
Last year, my New Year's resolution was, I'm not doing all the books anymore, because our online business went so insane. I don't think people understand that when you sell to a customer on Amazon, that's an entry in your QuickBooks.
5 times usually.
Well, you have to enter it, you have to receive that money in, and then you have to audit it. Okay, so when you're selling to thousands of people a month, that's a lot of time. And in 2020, before the pandemic hit, that was my New Year's resolution. I said, we are finding somebody to do the books, for the online portion. And lo and behold, about a week later, someone on the local Hickman page just moved to town, stay-at-home mom. Anybody need book work? I could not get a message to her fast enough.
Well, and it's part of the stuff that you look at, if it starts to overtake your life.
Yes.
And that's kind of where we were with it. Every night, every weekend, in front of the TV with a computer, trying to get through dinner so you can get back on the computer, because you have to get everything in or else you can't reconcile your books. It infringed on our life, really.
It did.
Family life, our own relationship, everything else. So it's when you're in that moment, being able just to sit for a minute and go, it may cost me something, but I'm going to recoup that in my own time, and B, my own well-being.
And we have our net profits are up for 2021, even though our expenses
are higher,
especially with payroll, are up. But we're still making more money. So keep in mind that while you're spending money, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. And in this situation, it was a win-win. She has pretty much a full-time job. She's in a situation where she has to work from home, and she has kids. She's a single mom, so she benefits off of it. We benefit off of it. It's a win-win, and we're still making more money. So just keep that in mind. It's scary sometimes to add an employee or a 1099 contractor, but you have to look at what the benefits are too.
Excuse me. When we started the entire thing, we decided to do this silly stuff. We'd always said we want to pay the bills, we want to put food on the table, we want to provide some people with some jobs, and we want to have fun. And we're very blessed to be able to do that. It's it goes back to that relationship piece again. I mean, everyone that works with us, and I say with us, they're family. And of course we fight and cuss and everything else just like family, but they are, and we're really happy to be able to have that relationship with those people. When we lose our first one, it's going to be a bad day, so we'll kind of see what goes on. I kind of call this, it's our little island of misfit toys, and we all just kind of fit together. So
we try to make it fun. We started Food Friday this year, which we do once a month. So the challenge is you get either an appetizer, main course, a side, a dessert, or a cocktail, and you have to use one of our products in it.
Cool.
And so then that also helps feed into our website where we have recipes on how to use our product. And we actually, for all of our online sales, if you order something from us, you get a recipe card with a recipe on it for whatever product you purchased. And so that's something too that helps to drive sales. And very few of them are actually done on a grill. And that helps to show people that you can use our product in the kitchen all the time. It doesn't need to be on a grill or on a smoker. You can put it in as just a spice or a seasoning in any item that you're making in your kitchen. So
the other thing that we did, kind of embracing some more technologies on the new labels, there's on the side of every label for every product, there's a QR code. So the customers in the store, they pick it off the shelf, they look at it, they scan that code, it goes directly to the recipes on our website for that specific product.
That's cool.
So that's something that, it's going to push more sales off of the shelf in the store. Just because, man, I wonder what I can do with that. And then you can scan it right here. We're standing in the aisle with your phone, and here's 10 recipes you can use the thing in. So a lot of those technologies are out there. I've been a little bit slower to adopt them than my wife.
But he does the videos.
Yes.
So I'm horrible at videos. I have tried iMovie, and I'm a techie person. I cannot figure iMovie out. He does iMovie. So you taught yourself too.
Yeah. I did.
Pretty
proud of myself for that.
And we need to do a better job with videos. But again, it's a time thing, and it's one of those things where I know Amazon, I get an email once a month from them. Oh, you should put videos for all of your products on Amazon. Yes, I know. And I even bought this thing right here to help me do it. It hasn't been out of the box because it's just, there's always something else going on.
Yes.
But, it's just making it a priority. And again, outsourcing something else that maybe is on your plate.
Thank you guys so much. I want to make sure we have enough time for questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody have questions? I know. Oh, Jody, go ahead.
Well, first of all, thanks for having some gluten-free stuff, because in the world of barbecue, it's interesting to find something that tastes good and it's gluten-free. And second of all, have you checked with Fairway Meat Market to get your product there? Because that would be a huge.
We are in there.
Okay.
We're in the Fairway stores throughout Iowa and Nebraska, and the Fairway Meat Market here in Lincoln, they do carry that as well.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're in there nationwide, I guess, and they're 3 states.
They're 3-state nation.
Yeah, and actually, our person who does that, we sell direct to those stores, and so she calls them once every 2 months and checks in on them, and so yeah, we're
They're
there.
the people that ask for the pig sauce and the chicken rub.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, but it's on. Actually, we just stopped a couple weeks ago at the one on 84th, and the product is there.
Sweet.
And we will be releasing shortly a sugar-free version of sauce.
Oh, nice.
And it actually tastes good. So
Yeah, it does. I'm
Brooke,
amazed.
my kids, he and our oldest, it's his new favorite. And we're like, really? Sugar-free? He's like,
Well,
oh my gosh, it's so good.
It's a no added. I mean, it has tomatoes, so inherently it has some sugar to it, but no added.
Just
so.
it has 1 gram, I think,
Yeah.
but you can't say sugar-free because it has to be, I think, under a 0.5 gram. But still, it's very keto friendly, and it still tastes good. Which we went and bought one actually at Fairway. When she dropped the stuff off, she's like, "Oh, I found the sugar-free one," so she picked it up for us, and we brought it back, and
I had to wash my mouth out with dishwater.
it was not good. It was not good at all.
Okay, not really, but it didn't taste great. Just kidding.
So yeah, and it's sometimes product development takes a while just because you got to make sure it tastes good. But at some point you have to let it go too, and just be like, enough tweaking, just go with it.
Put it out there. Yep.
Yep.
All right, we got time for one more question. Does anybody have, I know Steve had one in the chat. If nobody else has one, let me see what it was. Oh gosh. He wants to know, what is your best-selling rub and best-selling sauce?
All purpose
Well,
and hogwash.
yes, overall.
But keep in mind, those products have been around with the business for 20 years.
Yeah.
So it is inherently going to be the best seller. Just because it's a bestseller doesn't mean it's the best product.
And since we sell regionally, that's part of it too. There's stuff that sells a lot better in North Carolina than we'll sell here.
Our all purpose, I don't think has ever won any awards.
No.
The hogwash was the best sauce on the planet in 2002 when he started the business. Hasn't won anything since.
No.
Our Caliente rub, huge award winner. Our
Mhm.
Cowgirl rub, huge award winner.
Mhm.
Our Creole butter, huge award winner. But they're newer products.
Yeah.
So, but the all-purpose and the hogwash are basic, everyday usage products.
It's around here, Kansas City style. That's what everybody's used to. And yeah, we sell about the most of that.
Makes sense. Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. And I love seeing you, even though we're neighbors.
Right?
I have to see you on here. We appreciate it. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week at 10 a.m. So
All right.
have a great weekend and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All right,
everyone.
thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.